Should you sell or hold when there is so much supply in the market? Will HDB prices stagnate? Should you wait for the 15-month waiting period to be removed? With so many upcoming launches, will prices drop? I hear you, HDB owners and private owners. Hi everyone, my name is Crystal, not a crystal ball but crystal clear direction. Market, buyer behavior and consumer preference are changing. I will be talking about market insights that many may be missing, whether you are already MOP, are about to MOP this year, or are planning to downsize. 3 key trends we'll be discussing for HDB, changes that matter more than most people realize. Why is the government introducing these measures? How will they impact you as a homeowner? And how can you take advantage of government recent new policies? First, let's look at the plus and prime model. It comes with more restrictions and the reason is quite straightforward: to keep public housing affordable and reduce short-term buying and selling. That's why these flats comes with stricter rules. 10-year MOP instead of 5 years, no renting out the whole flat after MOP, subsidy clawback when the flat is sold. As a result, some buyers may start looking at standard resale flats instead. Why? Because resale flats offer more flexibility, especially in mature estates and city fringe locations. I recently worked with a seller in Booking. Buyers were willing to pay more for a spacious resale flat in a good location, rather than buying a condo. For them, space, convenience, and flexibility matter more. As buyer preference evolve, the question is, will your flat be one of the homes buyers are actively looking for in the years ahead? Next, housing supply. Between 2025 and 2027, about 55,000 new BTO flats will be launched with shorter waiting times. What does this mean? Put yourself in the shoes of a buyer. If given the choice, will you choose a brand new BTO flat or a resale flat? Many buyers may be drawn to BTO because of the lower prices, shorter waiting time, and fast 99-year lease. At the same time, resale buyers will have more options to choose from and less pressure to make a quick decision. There is another trend many homeowners may not be paying attention to. The number of flats reaching MOP is expected to increase significantly over the next few years, which means more resale flats could enter the market. So, what does that mean for homeowners? You are not just competing with the market, you are competing with other sellers in your neighborhood as well. The question is, why would a buyer choose your flat over the others available? This doesn't mean you can't sell. It simply means strategy becomes even more important, especially if you are planning to upgrade. Will you rather plan your next move before competition increases, or wait until there are many more sellers competing for the same buyers? That is something every HDB owner should be thinking about. With more housing supply coming into the market and tighter housing policies, the goal is clear: to keep the HDB market stable. Over the past few years, HDB resale prices rose sharply due to conflict-related construction delays and limited housing supply. Many buyers who couldn't wait turned to the resale market, pushing prices up. But today's market is different. With more choices available, buyers are no longer rushing in like before. Prices may continue to rise, but likely at a slower pace than in recent years. As competition increases, pricing your flat realistically becomes even more important. The question is no longer whether prices will keep rising. The question is, if prices grow more slowly, does holding on still make sense? Many homeowners overlook CPF accrued interest, which continues to accumulate over time and can reduce the cash proceeds from a future sale. Sometimes waiting feels safe, but in the shifting market, it can quietly cost you. Should you sell your HDB, or is it the right time to sell your HDB? Many people focus on today's prices but overlook the increasing supply over the next few years. However, not every property needs to sell. What matters most is your goals, your financials, and where you are in life today. You may not want to sell today, but it could be something worth planning for. The key is having clarity. How long do you intend to hold? Are you in a position to take advantage of opportunities when they arise? Property isn't about selling high and buying high. It's about selling right and buying safely. What if there are opportunities today where you can enter at 200 to 300 PSF below the current market value, giving you a certain protection? What if you could upgrade your lifestyle without overstretching yourself financially? Fear often comes from the unknown. The only way to know is to understand your numbers and explore your options. In fact, many are surprised to find they have more options than they initially thought. If the numbers shows that you can upgrade comfortably, at least you wouldn't miss an opportunity, just because nobody told you early. At the end of the day, the decision is yours. Reason I'm sharing this today is because I want you to feel secure, comfortable, and have more flexibility in your life. If you would like to explore your option, feel free to reach out. I will be happy to create a personalized upgrade plan tailored to your needs and goals. Now, attention to private owners. Should you wait for the 15-month waiting period to be removed? But if you are waiting, there is a good chance many other owners are thinking the same way. If everyone waits, what happens when they all decide to enter the market at the same time? With more land being released for new homes, will prices eventually come down? And if that's the case, should you wait for the cheaper new launch? If the waiting period is removed, private property owners who are downsizing to a resale HDB may no longer need to wait before making their purchase. What does this mean? Some buyers may be able to secure their next home first before selling their private property, provided they have sufficient funds. This gives them more flexibility and could increase demand for resale HDBs, especially in metro estates. However, for homeowners planning to buy and sell at the same time, proper planning becomes even more important. A resale HDB transaction typically takes about 3 months to complete. Coordinating the sale of one property and the purchase of another may sound straightforward, but timing both transactions correctly can be challenging. That's why having a clear timeline and strategy is important. Another thing to consider is that sellers may need more time to find a buyer, especially with more housing options entering the market. With 4,745 new homes coming, are we heading into oversupply? No, the land sold today will only be completed a few years later. The UAE is planning ahead to prevent future shortage, not flood the market today. Singapore's population grew by 1.2% in 2025 from 6.04 to 6.11 million. More people means more housing demand. Developers are also still competing aggressively for land. Just look at the recent River Valley Green Privacy tender. Strong bidding, which pushes land costs up and that flows into future launch prices. So, what does this mean for sellers? When new launches enter the market, buyers may shift their attention there. That means your resale home could take longer to sell. To stay competitive, price it realistically, based on condition, location, and how it stacks up against nearby new launches. Should you wait? The answer depends on your situation. I recently spoke to an owner of a one-bedroom condo who was considering moving to a resale HDB. Many people think waiting is always the safer option, but that's not true. Smaller units can sometimes take longer to sell, and if the right HDB comes along, do you have enough time and cash to secure it before selling your current property? Here is another thing many people may not know. Private property owners aged 55 and above can buy a 4-room or smaller resale HDB without saving the 15-month waiting period. For some homeowners, downsizing isn't just about saving money. Their children have moved out, they no longer use the condo facility as much, and convenience becomes even more important than having extra space. In the end, the real question isn't whether you should wait, it's whether you are clear about your next move. Ultimately, the property market is driven by demand and supply, and this is what we may potentially see moving forward. If the waiting period waves off, we may see more demand for resale HDBs in the short term. However, as more BTO flats are launched and more flats reach MOP, buyers will also have more options to choose from. On the private housing side, about 4,700 new homes are expected to enter the market in the coming years. With more choices available, price growth may continue, but likely at a slower pace than before. That's why homeowners should focus not only on where prices are heading, but also on having a clear plan for their next move. That's all for today's video. Hope you found these market insights helpful. If you have any questions or would like to explore further, feel free to reach out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. See you in the next video.